pepperoni pizza. The poor guy was scattered and off his game. It was clear he missed his wife terribly and didn't like being on his own.
"They're saying on the Weather Channel that this storm's only going to get worse, so I think we should just call it a day and all go home,"
Sal said. Stunned silence. Sal was dismissing the staff for the day? It wasn't even 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Bruce did his best Rod Serling voice.
"You're about to enter another dimension. Next up, the Twilight Zone." "Shut up, Bruce," Sal snapped. "I want everybody to be careful driving home. It's a mess out there."
Sal rubbed his eyes and ambled back to his office. Haley wasn't going to wait for him to change his mind. She quickly shut down her computer and grabbed her green LL Bean winter jacket from the office closet. She threw it on, laced up her black boots, and was out the door. She carefully navigated the frozen walkway from the office to the street. Still, she nearly lost her balance on the slippery ice and had to wave her arms like a crazy person to keep herself from falling flat on her back. Once she managed to reach her white Subaru wagon, which was parked up the street, she pulled on a pair of mittens her mother had knitted her 20 years ago and began brushing all the fresh snow off the car. She clicked the remote key to unlock the doors and then rummaged through all the kids' athletic equipment and empty fast food cartons and discarded paper coffee cups in the back seat to find her red wooden-handled ice scraper. Haley began hacking at the clumps of ice that had formed on her windshield, clearing enough so she could at least see where she was going on the short drive home. Then she climbed behind the wheel, shut the door, started the engine, and cranked up the heat. She waited a few minutes for the car to warm up before slowly pulling away from the curb. She could hear the wheels crunching through the snow, and she hadn't even maneuvered the vehicle all the way into the street before the car hit a patch of ice and began slipping and sliding into the opposite lane. Luckily, no one was stupid enough to be out driving in this mess. There were no cars to collide with, so Haley counted her blessings. She stayed focused, never taking her eyes off the road, gently pressing her foot down on the accelerator, not too much, just enough to keep the car going in a forward motion. She didn't want to chance losing control again and smashing into a tree or a fire hydrant, or, God forbid, a storefront window. What was normally a 5-minute drive home took 20 minutes, but Haley finally managed to get herself and her Subaru home safely. She turned into the driveway of her gray 2-story house. Well, it was gray when she left for work this morning. Now it was completely white. At least the snow covered the fact that her house was in desperate need of a new coat of paint, which she couldn't afford. Maybe she would get a nice tax refund this year, which she could use to paint the house in the spring. Wishful thinking. Lex Bansfield, the man Haley had been dating on and off for the past year and a half, usually would clear her driveway with his snowplow truck during a storm. However, he hadn't had a chance to swing by yet, so Haley assumed he was busy clearing the roads on the expansive seaside estate, where he worked as a caretaker. It was slow going, the tires of her Subaru skidding through the mound of snow piled high in the driveway as she pulled in and opened the garage door with her remote. Haley had to press her foot harder down on the accelerator to keep the car moving forward. Then, suddenly, without warning, the tires freed themselves from the packed snow and the car took off, speeding toward the open door of the garage. Haley slammed on the brakes and prayed her car wouldn't hurtle through the garage and crash right through the back wall and into her neighbor's adjoining yard. Luckily, the Subaru squealed to an abrupt stop just inches from the wall. Haley breathed a deep sigh of relief. The last thing she needed right now was a costly repair. She got out of the car and was about to head into the house when she stopped. She heard a creaking sound. Haley looked around. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary. She couldn't make out where it had come from. She continued to walk out of the garage. Another creak. This time, louder. What was that? It seemed to be coming from the roof.